Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse, and today I'm gonna try and pass through my graphics card to my server over here, the Lenovo X3650 Model 4, which has an AMD FirePro 7900V or V7900. I forget. I'll be sure to leave that in the description. But I installed VMware 6.5 on that, and in the last video I put in some disks and I messed up with the disks and I fixed the disks, and we're gonna go and create the disk groups in there, and we're gonna import the virtual machines that are on these two SSDs, and they're gonna be available, and hopefully that is where I can pass through my graphics card. I would like to get my editing PC up and running on this machine so that I can get some faster rendering, because right now I'm using this number 15 down here. It's quick enough, but well, weird issue. The driver for the NVIDIA grid card, K1 card that is in there, has decided to stop working, so I would have to reinstall that anyway. So well, thought might just get the other one up and running, and it's a lot better too. So not much is gonna be happening out here, hopefully, unless I've messed something up. So we're gonna go to the computer and see where we're at. I didn't show installing VMware 6.5 again. If you want to know how to install that, well, I've done a number of videos. Let's just keep it at that. Computer. Okay, here we are at the computer. So let's see what we have. I have logged in already, but this is pretty much it, how it looks right now. And we have some storage. It's these two thingies over here. So if we go in here and pick storage, well, we have the two SSDs in a RAID 1 that we messed with in my last video on this project, and we have the NVMe drive that is also in there. That's the Samsung 960 Evo drive, and they're about the same size ish, but we should also have the 1 terabytes SATA drives in there. So let's just see that again. We go up and pick new storage. That's not what it says. We pick new data store there, and we pick this create a new VMFS data store. Next, and it sees our drives in there, so they're right here. So we can give that a name. I'm just gonna call them 3 terabyte SATA storage. That's very convenient. And we can pick what kind of VMFS we want to put on here. It suggests the 5. We're just gonna go with the new stuff. I haven't looked into this at all, but hopefully when they put this on there, they are ready to release that and it's all good. We're gonna use all the space available. We could also do some custom stuff. All the space, that's convenient. So summary, good. Finish. The entire contents of the disk, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it will delete my disks. There is nothing on them, so we're fine with that. Let's see, we got a new data store right there. So this is cool. So we have 3 terabytes of SATA storage, we have 480 gigabytes of SSD storage, and we have 500 gigabytes of NVMe drive storage. It's kind of a tier level here. We have the cheap storage, we have the middle class storage, and then we have the high-end, very fast storage down there. So far so good. On this SSD we have some data. So if we go in there and we browse the data store here, we can see that I have some old projects here, and one of them is this editing server. Let's check that. It's right there, and that's from the server that died. The data is still there, and in this folder there's a complete virtual machine that is just dormant there because, well, it hasn't been activated since back then. So what I do, I pick this file. I've called it editing server 2016. I don't remember if it's a server or Windows, but I'm sure we'll find that out when we import it. So I just right click on that and register VM there. Whoops. And we can close this again. And if we go out here, we can see that now we have a virtual machine here, and that's the server that we just put in. We can mark that, and we can see that it is indeed running server 2016 64 bits. It has 4 V cores, 12 gigs of RAM, and it probably has an additional hardware down here that it would not be able to get yet, because we haven't passed through the graphics card to it. And if I start to try and turn this on, well, it's gonna be a mess. So the graphics card we have installed in the server. Oh, please do notice the background here. I made that especially for you guys. Graphics card. So we need to pass the graphics card through to the virtual machine. And we do that by going up here to the host and picking this manage there. And there are different tabs up here. And this hardware tab is where we can see all the hardware that is possible to do a pass-through on. We could actually pass through, maybe pass through the Samsung NVMe drive right here. Or what else could we pass through? We could pass through the internal graphics card. That would not be a good idea. And here is the AMD graphics card. That is what we want to pass through. Here is the RAID controller. It might be a good idea to pass a RAID controller through to a server. I know some RAID controller this is possible, other RAID controllers is not really possible. But if you want to run a virtual exponology box in there, well, if you can pass the RAID controller through, well, the server has direct access to the disks. So that might be cool. But we need to pass these two through. That's the advanced micro device, AMD, and it's here it is, the FirePro V7900. We need to pass both of them through, I believe, there. And as soon as we do that, it want to reboot the host, because this can only be done after a reboot. And it's kind of dangerous because sometimes the host just don't want to play with you. But well, we are living on the edge, aren't we? So we will pick those two and toggle pass-through. For this device, change when the host has restarted. Okay, cool. We might as well do that right away because we can't get any further before that is done. So we will close that one and we will go back to the host. Here it still reminds us that we need to do that. So action, and I have to reboot. So we'll do that. We'll be rebooting in the background. We could just go in and check. This server has an IMM, so by punching in those numbers, that's on IP number 200. There we are. We'll log into that. Here we are. The server is doing great. So remote control. And we can start a remote control here. I'm not sure if it will work with me today. It's this Java thing. It's not always very it does actually look promising. Yeah, so the server is booting here and we'll start to load VMware again here in a second or two. So from my comfy chair with the fire in the background, I can control this server, all of it. I could pick to go into the BIOS here. Awesome, right? That's why you need a management card in your server. So if the server has
killed itself, you can actually go see how it's doing and make alterations to it. Go into the BIOS and do some settings. So yeah, we'll be back when this is booted. The server has done booting, so we can go up here and log in again. There we are. Let's go see if it has passed through. It says they're active, so that should be a good thing. Let's go back to the virtual machine here, and it says that it has this device now. So that's, I wonder if that's good, if that was up and running. Only one way to find out really, so we'll press that one. Okay, so it recognizes that the machine has been moved, so we better say that we have copied it. Answer. There, failed to power on virtual machine, blah blah blah. Power on failed, more details. Device powered failed on. Okay, I've seen this before. It usually has to do with the passing through of the graphics card. So if we start by removing that graphics card and putting it back in, that usually helps. Back out here, we go edit, and we get all the hardware in the server, the virtual machine there. And down here we have this PCI Express card, and we can, we need to reserve all memory as well, but let's remove that just to start with and save that, and then just try and boot the server without it. There and there. Power on. Get a screen, please. I really hope I haven't used a too difficult password for this machine. I have no idea right now what that is. Action. Do we have... I would like to be able to send Control-Alt-Delete in there. Keyboard. Morten, that's me. Let's do administrator instead and hope for the best. What have I used here? Oh, haha! Got you! Hacker of the day! I see that I've been doing some hard drive tests on this as well. The server boots no problem. That's awesome. I do believe that I've used this server for quite a bit before the host died. We could just do some maintenance, like emptying out the trash can. Let's see, the last video I did here was number 519. I think that was a test we did. Okay, let's power that down. Shut down. Continue. And then let's go add the graphics card. See if we can do that. There. So we'll go up and edit again. And we need to add other hardware. And we need to add a PCI device. And it's suggested the right thing, so I think we'll just put that in, save. And we need to go back in and reserve all the memory for it. It does not like shared memory when it has that graphics card. So if we go in here, there, maybe it has already reserved all the memory. Oh, it says here that all the memory has been reserved. This means that the server will take all of these 12 gigabytes of memory that it has available for it and say, that's mine. So it's not a very efficient way to have a server. Normally they can share the memory, so if this server is only using like 2 gigabytes, well, it will only take 2 gigabytes. But to get this up and running, you need to reserve it. Let's hope we can get it up and running, because it can really tease you. Save. So let's try this again. Looks good. Play. Oh, did it just boot the server? I do believe that it did. It booted my server. This is not entirely stable. Did I mention that this is not a paid advertisement from VMware ESXi? Sorry guys. Okay, the server has booted again, and I have logged in again. And the server is here. Last time I was playing with this, if you see the CPUs, there are 4 cores, 1 socket, 4 cores. But I have also reserved the CPUs. If we go down here, we can see that CPU from 4 to 7 has been reserved for this server. I hope they use that very same example themselves, so that should still be good. And if I don't remember if there's any changes in the configuration files for this, but I think we'll just have to try this again. Let's do a console. Let's see if that will open. It opens. Always trust. Yes, continue anyway. And the server is not on. When we turn it on, we better have that. Let's get that up and showing. I want to see if the host boots when we do this. An uncorrectable bus error occurred on the CPU. That was probably when it booted. Okay, never mind about that. Let's get this one up and going again. We lost that one when I think it timed out. Let's keep the hosts somewhere in sight. Maybe we can just put it there. We can see if something goes wrong. Okay, so let's go back here. Back here and try and power this on again. Power on. Still powering on. It doesn't look good. No, I'm pretty sure the server is gonna boot again. Let's get that in view. Yeah, it booted. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's not supposed to do that, is it? Just boot? Okay, I've been playing with this for a while. As you can see, the fire has gone out in the background. I haven't found anything that will keep this server running, so I cheated. And I went and saw my last video that I did when I had trouble with this, and in there I took out a lot of RAM and I swapped the CPU around. So, well, I'm just gonna give it one last chance to boot here, and if it doesn't do that, I think we'll have to go do that and see if that will help me again. So let's power on. I can kind of see on this thing up here that it's not gonna work. Oh, or did it? Nope, there we are. We have a blue screen of death right here. Now we have it on video. Maybe someone can see something smart. Can we take a screen dump of this? We need to borrow that. New. Yes, thank you. We'll borrow that, and I'll go turn off the server. And swap the CPUs around.
Okay, here we are. Let's get the graphics card out of here. There. That can sit right there for just a little bit. It's plastic. And just swap these around. I'll go around the back, connect it. Let's power up, see if that helped anything at all.
Okay, I was just looking at this, and it says that PCPU13 locked up, and it apparently had 2 of them locked up, 11 and 13, and then it did a kernel panic down here. Oh, there's not a lot of information. Well, there is a lot of information, but it's not really good readable. Possible hardware problem. Contact hardware vendor. Okay, I wonder if that's Intel, AMD, or Lenovo. Maybe you can see something. If you can see something brilliant, do leave it in the comments below. But the server has rebooted. Let's see if it kills me if I start this again. I'll log in here. Nah, let's not do that. We can see when it boots. Select the machine, edit. There, we can see that it has the GPU down here. It's grayed out because I can't do anything to it. I still have 4 CPUs up here. I've turned it down to 8 GB of RAM in the hopes that, well, less RAM would cause less problems. And if we look at the CPU, I have right now CPU 427 that is being used for this, and the memory has been reserved all guest host, all locked. So cool, that's what's going on in there. I'm not gonna save. So let's power on again, see what happens. It does not look promising at all. I'm pretty sure that it has booted again.
Yeah, it has booted again, so I'm gonna turn it off. There. So we're gonna try and take some of the RAM out. I did that in a previous video where I took out one of the CPUs and all of the RAM for the second CPU and just left in RAM enough, 1 memory block per channel for the first CPU, and we might have to go there again. Okay, I took a lot of RAM out. I took out 16 blocks, left these 8 in, and they're all in the white slots down here. So the white slots represents the first slot in each of the memory channels. So I'm gonna leave the second CPU and the RAM for the second CPU in to see if if it will do anything. If this doesn't work, I will have to remove that as well.
Okay, so we're up and running again. I have opened up this one this time, so I really hope this will work. There is now 128 gigabytes of memory in here. Still has 2 CPUs, but let's press play and tape over here and see if this will roll. There. And it doesn't look good. It did not just power on, it just made one of those. And this time it's CPU 2 that has failed. So after I switched them around, well, the problem has moved. Ah, crap. Okay, back into the data center.
Okay, I have opened this up again. I've removed the RAM for the second CPU. I think I want to switch the CPUs around again, just because I enjoy doing that. That's of course a lie. I really hate taking the CPUs out of the sockets, but as this one was failing this time, and it was failing over, we're gonna put this one in socket number 1, and we're gonna take this one out. We're gonna close this down very carefully. I actually have a protective thing for that. I don't want to have this on there. They're empty. And then over here we will close this up. lock it down and give it a few drops of thermal compound. Just a little bit. It already has the old stuff, but this hasn't been on there for very long, so let's just see if it's not like it's overheating or anything. I don't think so. So now we're down to 64 gigs of RAM and one processor. Let's see if that's gonna help us out. Okay, we are powered on again, and the server boots again. Well, it has booted a lot today, and a bit too much for my taste. Back at the computer again, and the server has booted. Let's see if we can get the remote thing up and running here as well, so we can see it crashing. Yes. I have started this quite a lot. You have only seen about half of this. I usually try this a couple of times just to make sure that it definitely does not work. So here we are. It's working here, back. Yeah, there's not much else that I can do than press start. We could just check the host. Now we are down to 8 cores and 64 gigs of RAM. That's how that is running. So let's go press play over here and see this thing. Oh yeah. I took out the second CPU. That's what this is all about. And the second CPU controls the second riser card. And on the second riser card is the NVMe drive. And it's complaining about that drive missing. So if we go in here, we can see that hard disk 3 was not found. So I think there is nothing on that. So we're just gonna remove that. Delete from data store. I don't think we can do that, but yes. Did it fail to delete that? That wasn't very successful. Let's see if it's in there. It's still there. Could we move it to somewhere else? This is just stupid. The bloody drive isn't there. Can I remove it? Come on, guys. It's not fair. So, okay. Apparently I could power it on now, which probably just means that it's gonna fuck me over. That it's gonna crash with a boom bang. Might as well get this snapping tool ready. If I need to get a snap, cancel. Let's get ready to capture if something interesting pops up. No, it's just gonna crash. Yeah, it crashed. I give up. What's the time? It's 11:30. It's almost 11:30. Well, we'll continue the fight another day. Okay, I give up for this video. I'm not gonna go any further. Over here it's complaining about the CPU, so crashed. I have no idea what this bloody thing is doing. I have considered exchanging the 2 CPUs that I have in a server down here with the 2 CPUs in that server. Yeah, I don't know. It's not gonna be this video, but I would really like some new CPUs for this server. This server takes the E5 2600 series version 2, and I only have a couple of version 1s in there, and I was looking at the E5 2680 version 2. Those look mighty nice. If anyone has a couple of those laying around. But yeah, they're expensive. So if you haven't already done so, please check out that bell thing here on YouTube. That helps a lot, getting notified when there is a new video out. YouTube is yeah, they keep finding new ways to screw us creators over. So we have to advertise the bell thing, jingle bell. So hit the jingle bell and get notified when I have a new video. It works this way that if you don't hit the bell thing, you have to go in and check your subscription. Otherwise you might not see that there's a new video. This one really doesn't matter because nothing happened in this video, but well, the next one might be working or be interesting. So so thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell thing so you can see me again. Have a nice day. Bye bye.